Well, you get the offense back out there for the first game, and you get shut out. That's how you thought that one was gonna go, huh? Against the 4-8. I didn't realize the Vikings were 4-8. I didn't realize they were that bad.
We were favored. Should we?
Um,
Can I make a programming suggestion? Let's
sure.
jump right to the awards.
None. Toss a word to Drew
Hot
Brees. I
over.
enjoyed him on
Hot
commentary.
over.
I thought Drew Brees was great on the
I was kind of
commentary.
happy to see him. I didn't realize he was doing color. I figured he'd be good.
He is very good. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed the broadcast, which you've
Yeah.
probably never heard me say on this program. I actually really enjoyed the broadcast. Um, yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. What's Taylor Heineke up to?
Oh
I
man,
mean, how
it's
much
just
weirder can this thing get,
there's
man? I
a
mean,
there's a
goodness
lot
gracious.
there's a lot to unpack here for sure. It's just really bad.
Just a complete dumpster fire. Look, I know one when I see one. That's uh that's the bottom line. You know it when you see it. And that is a dumpster fire. That's
What
that's
bothered
going
me,
on in Washington right now.
what troubled me all week is, that's like you said it. We're sickos, right? So we were even getting excited about a 3-9, 4-8 matchup because we had all our guys back. But we've seen it time and time again with this team. They emptied the tank against Denver. They had a home game. They went all in. They emptied the tank, and they kind of did it for a half against the Chiefs, and then laid an egg the next week. They just can't. They just don't have it in them to put back to back, you know, okay performances. And Dan Quinn himself called that Denver game the best performance of the year, and it was a loss, by the way.
Yeah.
Which that Denver game was not a game. Maybe you can say it about Miami. Maybe we were not the better team in that Denver game. We just hung in there, right? And we played from behind the
Which
entirety.
if you
But
watch
this is a
how Denver
complete
plays football,
disaster.
that's what they've done all year,
Yeah,
by the way, with
yeah.
everybody.
And
Um,
to me, like I thought this before this game. By the way, calling that your best performance of the year is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And
he's
this
embarrassing.
is just, we're going to get into it. We got a lot of things to say. I don't want to shoot it
Well,
all in
and
the
then the
first
quote
first quote here, but
that we did lose the game, but we're no longer lost. What
ridiculous.
are you after today? You lost 31-0. That certainly looks lost. You're in the middle of, you know, if that happened on game like 3 of a losing streak, that quote, fine. But is anybody aware that we've lost, what's it, 8 straight at this point? 9 straight? Like, we are on a I've seen some bad teams. I can't remember an 8-game
It's an
losing
eight straight.
streak.
Yeah, eight straight.
I mean,
From
that
three and
is
two to 2-10.
dude, even Rivera won 4 games in his last year. Even
Well,
Gruden/Callahan won 4 games in their last year. We're
yeah,
not winning another game.
it's as bad as it gets. What I honestly, through the course of this game, when we were driving at, down 31-0, I thought, well, here we are, garbage time touchdown. I was kind of glad we didn't score
Me too.
because this needed to be a 31-0 loss. Not that it mattered that much. But yeah, I mean, we're going to look, I don't know. They played a pretty good game against Denver. Maybe they get one of those performances out again. But I think we're kind of bearing some of the lead here. We can get into the nuances of things. But Jane Daniels, was obviously not 100% healthy. We were on the fence. I think generally, I was probably a little bit more in favor of play him again if he's healthy, because what can you do if he's not healthy? Can you really sit him for 5 games? But he wasn't. He wasn't 100%. And I didn't know that. We don't know that. I was talking to MC about it. My wife, I said, you know, all I assumed was that he was good, that he was good, or at least
Because
98%
what
good.
What
And
logical
why would you
sense
play
does it
him? Why
make
would you play him?
to put him out there if he's not 100%? And he's so clearly
Zero.
was not 100%. And it like I don't know that he's been 100% at any point this season at this point.
Because here's the point.
Like
Here's the point. 100% agree with you. And here's the point. You can say like in ignorance, sorry if you're out there and you feel this way, that okay, it's just his elbow and he can play through that. Context matters. If this is a playoff team, right? If this is a team with a winning record, is this a team with something to play for where that's not going to be in his head, right? Because Jaden is not right. Jaden did not play well today, regardless of the elbow or not. He's not right. And a lot of it is mental. The ball's not coming out in time. He's looking to run. I mean, what all the talk about protecting himself? He doesn't throw the ball away ever. He just tries to run for plays. The ball does not come out. I can't watch the all 22. I don't know whether guys are open. I have a hard time believing that no one was ever open in those circumstances. He's not right. And there's no reason to have him out there if he's not 100%. And by the way, we were consistent with that. We said he needs to be 100% before he plays. And I assumed he was coming into this game.
it's just I mean, look, man, it's a joke. It's a complete joke. It's turned into a joke. I'm wearing a National Public Radio T-shirt during December football on a Sunday. That's where we've gotten. Why would I wake up this morning and put on Commanders colors? I woke up, I took a ride to go get a bagel, threw on the games. Whatever happens, happens. That's where we're at.
Yeah, that's
The
the
year
deal.
after going to the NFC Championship game. That's where we're at. And if you think that the answers are inside of the building at this point in terms of turning this thing around, I got what's the saying? A bridge in New York to sell you or something? I don't know. I'm too young for that, but
So let's
I
hit on
got
a
yeah. There's no
let's hit on
way.
a couple
This is a
quick
joke.
things and then I want to get into that conversation. I want to get into that conversation. I absolutely do. But just maybe a couple quick points to tie up the game. One, Zach Ertz goes down with what looked like uh, season ender for sure.
Career
Probably.
ender,
We don't want to speculate. We don't know. But I just want to give Zach Ertz some love because I think
definitely.
the guy, yes, he's limited in terms of his speed, you know, at this stage physically. But man, talk about a guy that just poured his heart out for this team, shows the character of this guy. And that was just awful to see Zach go down like that. So I just want to acknowledge that moment real quick before we get into what's next, which we absolutely should do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, really sad to see Earth go down like that in what was effectively garbage time. Laying out to make a play doesn't work out and just gets obliterated. That was a nasty looking hit. And
Yeah.
just goes to show, man, the guy's all heart. A lot of guys might just kind of go like that when they see that ball go so high, knowing their age and the point in their career that they're at. And not Ertz, man. It's not even in his DNA. So shame to see things go that way. Hope he's okay. And yeah, thanks to Zach Ertz for what he's contributed because it's definitely been an unsung hero of this team for quite some time. Um,
What do we do at 5 the rest of the year? I
Dan
mean, I don't
Quinn's
think it didn't look like the injury was anything more than just his elbow was sore and it was it hurt when it slammed against the turf, but he shouldn't play again.
I don't
I'll
know,
say
man.
it.
I hope he doesn't, but I got no faith
No,
that they sit him. I don't believe they will. I hope you're wrong. I
yeah,
hope I'm wrong,
I don't know.
but
Yeah, I have no idea what their thinking is, but I mean, it was
they have
obviously
no
shouldn't have been
they
that
have
big of a
no
deal.
they have no idea what their thinking is. They've
But
lost
we're
8 straight
both
games.
we're both
There's
unanimously firmly on the fence on the not fence. That's the opposite. But we're firmly on. He should not play again this year at this point.
I don't know what's the point. He's clearly not right mentally. Um
No.
and everybody that wants to do the like hardo machismo. If you haven't played in the NFL, I really don't want to hear your, antics about being a real man and whatever. You haven't been in that position. You have no idea what you're talking about. But everybody wants to have that take. That's fine. That's your prerogative. My prerogative is that there's clearly something wrong with the kid, both physically and mentally. And I don't see like we're trending towards like just doing irreparable psychological damage to him,
Yeah,
having him out there, and then you worry about like if you're gonna put him out on a bum elbow and he's scrambling and he's afraid to fall on that side, he takes a weird cutback and then he blows his knee out. Like you're talking about the guy's not able to play mentally unencumbered because of these physical injuries right now. And on top of that, he's got the pressure of this narrative of he can't stay healthy. You don't think he's not thinking about that too when
of
he's out there?
course.
You don't think he wants to scramble and run to show everybody that he's fine and he's himself? At the end of the day, he's incredibly mature for his age. He's a 24, 25-year-old kid. Like it's not, it's he's not immune to any of the things that young quarterbacks go through just because he overachieved so much his rookie year. He's not
That's
immune
perfectly
to
said.
any of those things. And he's clearly going through all of them, and they're clearly a detriment to his physical health. So the adults in the room, if there are any, because we'll get to that, the adults in the room got to protect the guy. I think it's
Well,
plain and
yeah,
simple. At this point in the year, I understood putting him out there today under the guise that he was 100% healthy. I saw him throw a few dirt balls, and I go, he might not be 100% right now. And sure enough,
he was bad.
if he can't fall on that elbow the way he fell on that elbow, he's not 100%. So why is he out there? Because that was not he fell. He fell at high speeds, but that was not a re-injury type of fall. That was a you're still not okay, but you're trying to play through it
Well,
type
here's
of
the
fall.
here's the problem, right? The problem is one, he's coming back and playing hurt. He played hurt with the knee. He had a knee brace on.
Played
He's
hurt with the
playing hurt with
hamstring.
this elbow. He played, the hamstrings didn't seem to be much of anything. Like he seemed to come back fine from that. But you're spending time during the week as well. Not only the impact that that has in the game when you're playing hurt, right? But you're spending time during the week as well, rehabbing as much as you are focusing on game plan, practicing, getting reps. He was rushed back here, and it was no reason to do it,
Yep,
right? And you're right, there is a mental impact. Now I'll say this, and I'll stick by it. I think this is much more of a Kirk Cousins situation than an RG3 situation. Let me explain, right?
I
Very
don't
different
understand that
players.
take yet,
Let
but
me
I want to hear
explain.
it.
Remember, both guys looked shot, right? Kirk looked shot. Remember that second year, I think it was, and he was throwing picks left and right. He looked shot. He looked like a shot quarterback. Obviously RG3 was playing bad, but Kirk came back. I think Jaden's confident and played really, really, really well. Now Kirk has never been top elite type player that we hope Jaden can be. But my point is, I think that this guy, if given the opportunity with an off season, getting a chance to just calm everything down, get 100% healthy, we're lucky that none of his injuries have been major. They've all been pretty minor at the end of the day. He's got his legs, he's got his right arm. Let that left arm fully heal. I think he'll bounce back if he gets the support he needs from this organization. And you know what? They need to stop treating him as Superman. They need to treat him as a young player that's still developing and get him the help and support he needs. And I think he'll put in the work to realize that he needs to get the ball out of his hands quicker and work on all these things that haven't been going well. So anyway,
Yeah, I mean,
I, I think he'll be fine.
you look at every other team across the NFL and what they did last year with the quarterbacks in that draft class. I mean, the Bears went out, fixed out the offensive line, got a new offensive play caller. They're competing for the 1 seed. The Patriots buffed up that defense, got a new head coach. They're looking like a Super Bowl team. The Denver Broncos continued to build up that defense, paired Bo Nix with a play caller right away, something we should have done. Paired Bo Nix with the play caller right away, and they're doing what they're doing right now. You look across the board, the teams with the young quarterbacks in every class, even the Vikings who had McCarthy hasn't been able to stay on the field, but they clearly, I mean, we watched it today, have a significantly better roster 1 to 53 than we do. So, and again, brilliant offensive mastermind head coach and great defensive coordinator in Brian Flores. Sure, Viking fans are probably disappointed that they're not 14-3 with Sam Darnold again this year, but you're building something long term. This is what's going to happen. You have to follow suit. We've got a good offensive line. Jaden, we're hoping can return to form or at least average out between last year and this year and be a franchise guy. And you got Terry, and Terry's probably got 18 months left, a year and
Yeah,
a
a couple of
half,
years.
maybe.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe two
so
seasons.
you gotta circle the wagons and build this thing right. And if you don't,
Well, it's
you
a
don't
lost
like,
year. That's the problem. As good as Jaden was last year, and that's what continues to give you great hope with him. And the talent is clearly there. It's a lost year in his development.
yeah,
So total, it's and probably a backward step. Not probably. It was a backward step at least. So now there are question marks there. You can't run away from that. I still believe in the kid, but
yeah.
you have to call what you see what it is. And there's question marks there, and that's a shame. Not that they're gonna. He's still the franchise guy. They're still gonna build around him. But let's get into coaching these this coaching situation. So I mean, what do you do there? I'm gonna let you go on this one.
You know what I would do? I've been saying it for weeks. You let him finish the year, but he's gone. There's no like I don't see how you survive this. And I've argued with friends and people about this, and there's no logical argument for anybody that's watched every game this season and every game last year. And the reason being, all what happened last year with all the statistical anomalies, the best team in history on fourth down, the best rookie quarterback the NFL's ever seen, all these things that happened that you didn't expect to happen. I think you can point to those things as much more reason for why this team was successful last year than you can the coaching, because what you've seen this year is a complete lack of identity from the top down. They're nowhere near as aggressive as they used to be. Everything has kind of changed in terms of who they are, what they believe in, and the culture. He had that quote that just it gave me goosebumps. It was a few weeks ago, and it sounded exactly like Bruce Allen. When Bruce Allen came out and
It's
said
never a good thing.
the culture is damn good. And he comes out and he says this is an execution issue, not a culture issue. Your culture should be that you execute. This is a football team. What is the culture, that we hold the door open for old ladies at the grocery store? What's the culture here? This is a football team. The culture is executing, tackling, hitting guys, being on schedule, knowing what the play call is when the play is coming out. I mean, Debo is confused every play. He has no idea what play's coming out. Every play, he's looking back at the offensive line, trying to figure out what's going on. Defensively, you've got Bobby Wagner and Marshawn Lattimore, guys that have been in the league for 10 years, having no idea what they're supposed to be doing. It is a complete and utter. He's fallen asleep at the wheel. The dude is comatose. There's no. I have
It's
no.
good with the catchphrases though. What do you think the catchphrase will be this week?
And what did they say? And what did they say in Atlanta? Things go left. The catchphrases stop working. He stays tied to veteran players. He never runs the defense well, even when he's the head coach. All of these things. And what has been true here? As soon as things went left, because things never went left last season. That's another thing people are missing. Things never went left. You lost a couple games while your quarterback was hurt and playing through injury. Things
Well, I
never
think you had
went
a
left.
quarterback and an offensive coordinator and an elite season out of a receiver.
They had a
That
step on the league, but they
that
don't have that step on
yeah
the league this
that
year.
that I think that team was not winning because of defense by any shape of imagination. So look, it's bad. I don't know what they're gonna do. Um, I think that they could definitely possibly play the injury card, but That was a pretty healthy team out there this week. That was a
Dude, the
team that had the
Titans won
normal
today.
NFL injury, there. Um, yeah, it's bad. I mean, you can't lose 12 straight, which we're on pace to do, and keep the
You
head
can't lose
coach.
8 straight.
Yeah.
There's 17 games in a season.
Because what does
You
it
can't
matter
lose
what
8
we
straight.
do? Does it really like this is the thing that I ask myself. I was before this game, because of the last 2 weeks of narrow losses, just good enough to lose, right? Performances, because that's what they were. I thought, okay, if they win this game, put a couple wins together, get a little momentum built, fine. But now you're at a point where you're 2-10. These next 4 weeks don't matter. You beat the Giants. So what? So what? They fired everybody already. Like, does that prove anything? So I guess I'm on the page of everything's on the table, and it should be at this point.
What would you do, Pop?
If I was making a decision and the season was over today, I think I'd I'd fire him.
Yep, you got to. And another reason being,
And I mean, I'm
another
granted, I just saw one of the worst losses, and we've said that a few times this year, but this is the worst loss of a season that's had a lot of them.
nothing
We
but
thought
terrible
Seattle
loss.
was the worst one, but Seattle's at least a really good football team, right?
Dude,
Like this is we look. You can build the Vikings all you want. They suck. The Vikings suck, and they just put 31 on us. They suck. They've sucked all year. J.J. McCarthy has sucked all year, and we
yep.
let them put 31 on us.
I watched
Zero,
somebody named
31 to 0.
I watched somebody name 40 quarterbacks that they would rather start for their team over
They
JJ McCarthy.
suck.
And he and again, I said this I got two closing points on the Quinn issue. I said both of these things in the group chat. Number one, if you got a promotion at work, anybody listening that has a job, if you ran your department at work so well that they promoted you to the next level and it came with a big pay bump and you were still in charge of that department, but you had to delegate a little bit and you were the guy now, right? And then the department falls apart when you're in that next level, that department that you ran so well, you're gone. They're
But
getting
Dan Quinn
rid of
didn't
it.
get promoted. He's in the same. I mean, I get your
But
point.
Dan Quinn was an elite defensive coordinator. He's been multiple times in the league. He's been promoted to head coach, and every time he gets promoted to head coach, his defenses suck. They sucked in Atlanta. They suck here. You're gone. That's what you're supposed to be good at. You're supposed to be good at running the defense. And if this was an elite defense and we were losing games, close games, because Jaden was hurt and we weren't 100% on offense, I wouldn't be saying this. We could have the same record.
Well, he wasn't their first choice. I mean, that's the truth. We had a great
Yeah,
year
you got
last
the
year.
guy, the
I don't
guy
know. Like
going for the
I
number one seed
like
in the NFC was the first choice.
I like Dan Quinn. I think he gives it everything he's got. But we talked about it. Catchphrase, and look, even if the culture is good, because players do seem to like playing for him. Ultimately, you've got to have talent, and you've got to be able to coach ball. That's it.
But
And I
why
said
do
this. And by
players?
the way, I said this early in the season. Check the tape. I said you got to be able to coach ball. It's about X's and O's, much more about whether or not the players like you or not. And that's the problem. The X's and O's have not been there. And Cliff, I want to talk a little bit about Cliff because 31 nothing is not won or lost in one offensive sequence. So I just want everyone to hear that. I'm not suggesting that it is. That goal line play calling stance was atrocious. And he does it all the time. You're inside the 2 yard line with a running back that has been gashing them, playing really well, and you go to a trick play and 3 straight passes I mean, don't tell me that scoring that, going have 7-7, building a little bit, having a little bit confidence built with Jaden because they, instead of getting stopped, they scored. That makes a difference in the game. It's a much different result if that happens. Maybe it's maybe it's 28-14 or something, but like that's just it's
It's
just
every and
terrible.
like
It's terrible.
what sense does it make? It doesn't make sense. Like going to that trick play, right? It's one of those things. This is like a catchphrase of mine. I say there's 100 outcomes and there's only one good one. The one good outcome is that you score a touchdown, and everybody goes, "Ah, Cliff Kingsbury touchdown to Brandon Coleman. Look at that! How cool was that?" And then you lose 31-7. The other, the other 20 outcomes involve there's a free rusher at your quarterback that you're trying to keep on both of his feet, and you design a free rusher at him so he can throw a pass, not to Terry McLaurin, to an offensive lineman.
There were
It's
people trying to
second
make
and
the argument
goal.
that Coleman was open. On, I mean, like I'm talking reporters, not
Yeah,
not
I
just
mean,
the
I don't know what to
random,
tell you there.
not just random Twitter guys. Like there were reporters trying to.
Okay,
He's
Coleman
not
was.
a receiver unless he's
Let's
wide open and alone, which he wasn't. It's not a. He's not
let's
open.
say let's say he's open. Let's say he's open. Jaden's got 700 cumulative pounds of dudes in purple jerseys 6 inches from his face
But
before he can throw the
also,
football.
also, you don't throw the ball to an offensive lineman unless he's running wide open and uncovered. That's the
On
whole point of that
second
trick play.
and goal on your first drive of the game.
That builds a quarterback's confidence right there. That play call was perfect to build his confidence. What builds his
Yeah,
confidence
it's
is you
insane.
hand the ball off, you hand it off three more times. And you know what? If your offensive line can't get you 1 yard with a back like Rodriguez, who's, if nothing else, shown he's pretty good in those situations,
Rodriguez is a dog.
then you just bow your head to the other team. And that will build confidence in Jaden. Like somebody was, another reporter who I like a lot, so I won't name by name, was trying to make the argument they were trying to build Jaden's confidence by having him throw a touchdown pass. Are you kidding me? Like scoring a touchdown on your opening drive coming
What
back from
kind of
injury
like
will build your confidence.
what kind of like hand holding pansy nonsense is that? Like what that's not how football works. You want to talk about all and it's the same people. That's what drives me crazy. It's the same people that are like, I don't care if he's on a quarter of an ankle and he can't see straight. If he's cleared to play, he should play. And then those people are like, but we should hold his hand and get him a touchdown pass. No, you give the ball to Rodriguez, you let him run on third and goal. If you want to run a play action pass and have him throw a fastball to Terry McLaurin, fine. If you want to try and roll him out on third and goal, get the pocket moving and say you either throw it, you get to the pylon, or you throw it out of the back of the end zone, fine. Any of those play calls are cool with me. But that call on second and goal is ludicrous. And we've seen Cliff do this. And then the choice to go for it on fourth down there, again, stupid. Stupid. This is not a good team you're playing, right? Pop's right. Not a good team in
They
Minnesota.
suck.
I think they're more talented than us, and I think Brian Flores can coach
Well,
ball.
big deal.
Not a good,
More
yeah,
talented than we are.
low bar because that's the point. Pop says they suck. We are the worst team in football right now, so they
That
suck.
was the
Fine, but
point I was
you're
trying to
also
make.
terrible.
That was the
Yeah,
point I was trying to make.
agree. But
We
you
lost
kick the
31 to
field
nothing to a sorry football team.
You kick the field goal and you say, "Hey, defense, see if you can hold them to three, and we'll see if we can get seven on the next one." Like, and instead, the defense giving up the longest drive of the century, literally, to Minnesota. On the back end of that was also just maddening. But you've grown to. This is the thing your defensive mastermind head coach at this point in the season, you are numb to how bad they are defensively. JJ McCarthy scrambled for 9 yards
Well,
on third
I
and
mean,
six
look,
out of his own end zone. He almost got strip sacked,
but this
and
was
he
on Adam.
scrambled for nine
This is on
yards.
Adam Peters too, and it's a long conversation. But you went all in on offense. You didn't invest in receiver, by the way, with that all in on offense. But you went on offensive line. You
Got
invested
30-year-old
heavily.
Debo Samuel.
You invested heavily there. Yeah, Debo was your answer. Who San Francisco didn't want anymore. I like Debo, so I'm not
It's
going to trash
fine.
him. I think he is what he is.
He's a good
You
start
didn't.
option.
There's the reality of this team is beyond Jaden and Terry, who as good as Terry is and as elite as he is going to be 31 next year. So he's an aging elite player. You have nobody special. And the good news is we have the fifth pick in the draft as of right now with an opportunity to climb those standings. I'm on the page, and this is something I've thought about all week. Again, we get into it more. I want to keep that pick because we have to get superstars on this freaking team. We have to start getting some superstars, and we have one that can't stay on the field right now. And that's as much on coaching and everything else as it is on him right now. But anyway, I think we've got some exciting news to tell everybody.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, finish up some thoughts on your side.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
My
not looking to
last
cut you. I'm not looking to cut you off.
No, I'm ready to be done. But the last point I wanted to make about the Quinn thing and why I think you move on from him is I think regardless, Kingsbury's probably gone, but it's also very unlikely that you let go of a head coach and then you keep the offensive coordinator. That usually doesn't happen. And if you want to talk about developing a young quarterback, the priority should be, as we've discussed, right? Because again, you don't really have any superstars except for one, possibly, right? And that's Jaden. So the priority, the entire point of the franchise should be if we can get in a let me know if you're in alignment with me on this, Pop, because apparently this is a radical concept based on the way this team's been moving. But the entire priority for this franchise should be to put Jaden in the best situation to be a superstar, right?
That's what the
So,
whole. To be honest with you, it's what the whole offseason needs to be about.
right.
That, and you got to get some talent on defense,
So
right?
we just yelled about Cliff for 10 minutes,
Cliff
but
is okay. He's
he's
just okay. I have
he's
no issue with Cliff as an offensive coordinator, but he's not great. He's okay.
he's probably gonna get another shot as a head coach next year. That's everybody's kind of feeling that way. That's most likely. If
I mean, he's
anybody can lean on the injuries and
before this
say,
game, still a top 10 offense. I think that he's tried. You know what I like about Cliff? You saw it today. They were under center a lot more. Like, I really feel like this guy is trying to adjust, right? And I think he's a
all
good
supporting my
coach.
point here.
He's
Yeah.
a good, yeah, he's a good
More,
coach.
more than likely, you're not planning on Cliff. If you're planning on having Cliff Kingsbury around next year,
If you
again,
bring
you're
DQ back,
losing the
and
boat. If you look,
if you bring
can I?
DQ back and Cliff goes, I don't really like one. Will he get opportunities? I think that's on the fence because it's been a horrible year,
All right.
right? And if his calling card is developing a young quarterback, there's lots of questions there this year too. But if is it the right opportunity? And does he say, I want to run it back? I want to prove, I want to prove that this is a much better situation, or we can get much better results out of the situation. But who knows? Who knows?
So yeah, to tie up my last point here, I think you're looking at more than likely a new OC next year. And even if you keep Dan Quinn, you got a new OC next year. Things go the way I think they'll go if you keep Dan Quinn around for another year, which is after 3 years, you go, that guy's got to go. Now you've got Jaden in his third offense in 4 years. Is that developing a quarterback? Is that setting your superstar up for success? No. You have a clean break, fire
I agree.
Quinn, bring in Kubiak from Seattle. Bring in Kubiak from Seattle. Bring in a Shanahan guy that's lighting it up right now. What has been the most reliable formula for success in hiring an NFL head coach? Shanahan guy, lighting it up, turning a quarterback around. You saw it with McVay. You saw it with what's his face with Cohen. You now see it with Kubiak. Kubiak comes from an NFL family. Pops was a head coach at one point. This is the guy. Go get Kubiak. I cannot believe I'm sitting here in an NPR shirt talking about the offensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks in week
You
14
keep
of the
talking about the
NFL
NPR
after
shirt. That's a
going to the
personal choice.
because why am I going to put team gear on? That's what I'm saying. It's a statement. I can't believe. No disrespect to NPR. I
I
love them.
can't wait to take this thing off. I'm sick of looking at it.
Oh, I ain't wearing
I
any of
gotta be
that
honest with you.
nonsense ever for at least another year. Um, it's a joke, man. It's a joke. You gotta. There's no. I don't want to hear about what happened 2 years ago because it doesn't matter. There's no job in the world where you can underperform at the level that you've underperformed at, and you can point to a miracle season, which was 2024. There's no job in the world that you can underperform at and be retained. It's not about what you did for me a year ago. It's about what you're going to do for me next week. And what you're going to do for me next week is lose me another football game because that's what you've been doing for me all year. So it's time for him to go. That's my closing thoughts.
I can't. There's no way to argue that. But I think we have some exciting news.
Yeah, we're going to convert the channel to a golf channel. We're all in on golf content at this point in time. There's it's we can't get fully away from sports because we are sickos. But I think we gotta put football on the brakes. So it's gonna be time to get some Dom and Pop
We
golf. I
haven't
don't know
worked
how we
we haven't worked the logistics out, being that we're
there
on
are
two
some
opposite
massive
coasts.
financial logistical hurdles to this here.
Dom and
Um,
Pop break 90.
but as a scramble.
Golf channel.
Uh but
uh,
boy, oh boy, man. Let's wrap this thing up, man.
yeah,
This
that's
is
right.
this is just brutal. Without further ado, I'm Nam.
This is Pop,
Thank you all for another great week, and hail to the Commanders, I
I
guess.
guess.